we're ready to go.
Cool.
Oh, hello everyone that's coming through. Thank you for joining us on this lovely Tuesday. So everyone that's
Hi,
coming.
everyone.
Hello, everyone.
So everyone that's coming through, we're going to be a little while before we start our webinar, but we would just like to have a little bit of a banter with you guys. If you want to put in the chat or the Q&A just to say hello, where you coming from with the webinar today? Are you in Queensland, or are you in WA, or are you in Alice Springs? Who knows? If you want to put in the chat. Oh, we've got Sydney, Isabel.
Sydney.
Yay! So we've actually got a multiple people on the board today. We're not all in the same location, so we wouldn't expect everyone else to be there. And oh, Melbourne, oh, Perth, oh yeah, we got it. Vicky, we've got someone for Perth.
I think I recognise that name, Tita. Pretty sure I recognise that name.
Oh, well, there you
Hi.
go. Oh, it's got hi, ladies. Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, we got Mark too. We all know Mark. Hi, Mark. And we got from Perth. So thanks for joining, Mark. Oh, we're doing wonders. Yeah. So it's just nice to see everyone's coming. And what's all the weather like? Let's do the traditional. Let's get the weather going. Conversation that we have going. We've got weather going on.
Perth is quite nice and sunny today.
Yeah, I can report for Sydney, beautiful and sunny and nice and warm. And what's it for you, Mona?
It's a bit warm, but it's nice. Yeah.
Good time to put your washing out, everyone.
Yep. Yes, it will be dry very quickly. Oh. So we will get there. So yeah, we're just waiting for a few more people to log in. We'll be starting the webinar very, very shortly there. So we're just hope you're going to enjoy. We've got a lot to share with you today, so I hope you enjoy what we've got to share. Oh, yeah, gorgeous sunny day in Perth. Hope you're all well, Vicky and Linda. Yeah, we're
really good, Tita. Hope you're well too.
Yes, we're a bit fighting.
I haven't seen you for a few years now. Tita and I studied together at Dental Nursing Australia back in the day.
I just love those combinations. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, it's just nice seeing familiar faces and names coming up on the board. Well, fantastic. Well, we've got to that time now. It's lovely chatting and seeing everyone's coming from different areas of Australia. But let's get our webinar started. So our webinar today, we're obviously looking at cultivating efficiency and the power of digital forms. So let's get going with this one. So with like most of our webinars, we do have what we've got here, a little bit of housekeeping. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is meet the team. Okay, so some of you who started early get an idea who we've got here, but I've got on the team here, we have got Vicky. And Vicky is part of our training and consulting department, and she is the consultant for e-forms and e-appointments. So if you're booking in a consulting session, Vicky will be the lady you'll be chatting to. We'll be giving you all the tips and advice that she can give you on all the forms. We've also got Mona on the phone call, on the webinar today, and Mona is our product manager. So she's the lady behind all the marketing that you saw for this webinar, the emails that she sent out and the little post she put up on Facebook. We contribute that all to Mona, and she really looks after it, promoting our e-forms and our e-appointments as well. And for myself, I also work in the training and consulting department, and I am the consulting lead for that department. And one of the products I oversee with Vicky is e-forms. So with that today, that's our team, and we'll go on next. Now, we will be recording this webinar today, and there will be our lovely Mona that will then be sending out an email after this with the recording of the webinar. And we also will have some links to direct you to some of the things that we'll be mentioning in today's webinar that you can actually find in our e-support. Now, we got you in listening mode, but that doesn't mean you can't communicate with us. So as you can already see, for those of us that joined earlier, you can certainly communicate with us on the chat or the Q&A. You can put any questions there. Now, today we're going to do things a little bit differently. We normally will look at questions through the webinar, but today we're going to actually wait until the end of question time to look at those questions, because we've got quite a bit to get through, and we just like to relax at the end of the webinar and go through our questions. So we'll look at what impact can e-forms or digital forms have on your practice. So what we see it can do is will help you reduce your expenses. It will improve your data accuracy. And it will also help with security. It also saves time and reduces a workflow, and also can boost your patient experience. So what we're going to do today to cover that in that webinar, how we're going to achieve this by showing you those particular boosts and that we recommend for digital forms. So what we've done is split the webinar up, and we're going to start with looking at efficiency in creating forms. So what can we do there to make that more efficient? We are looking at the efficiency for the patient. So how are we making that more convenient for the patient? And then we're also going to be looking at the efficiency of managing the forms. So we're going to look at an overall of how this efficiency works, having digital forms. Now I'm going to hand this over to our lovely Vicky, and she's now going to take over the poll.
Thank you, Linda. Okay, so poll time. How much do you think implementing digital forms can cut down unnecessary expenses in your practice, such as printing and scanning costs? So if everyone wants to put in their answer there, we've got 10%, 20%, or 40%.
I'm just launching that now, Vicky.
Okay, great. Thanks, Linda. Okay, so I'll give you guys some time to enter in your answers there. Great. Yeah, so that is right. It's 40%, which is quite a substantial amount of work costs, which brings us into efficiency in creating forms. So today we'll talk about paper forms versus digital forms. We'll look at how easy it is to modify templates. You can also customize your own forms, and also how to share forms in multi-location sites. So we'll look at the pros of digital forms versus paper forms. Okay, we have cuts down unnecessary expenses, which is related to printing and scanning. It will improve your data accuracy. So data entry checks that reduce the likelihood of errors. We've got secure patient information. So it allows the implementation of security measures. It also saves time, and it reduces workflow and also boosts patient experience. So versus paper form with accessibility. So paper forms are accessible to practices without the need for digital devices. There is the familiarity as well. Some practices may be more comfortable or familiar with paper forms. And then document retention. So forms can be stored within the practice, say if you have some sort of filing system. Okay, so now we'll show you how easy it is to modify your forms. So this is all done through eForms Manager in your eServices portal. So here you can see that there is a list of templates that Centaur does provide. There's medical history forms, consent form, satisfactory form. If we click on one of the forms there, you have the option to edit the name of the form here. So we can just change and put in change and click save. Okay, so that has now updated the name. On the left-hand side, you have, for example, design theme. You can change the colors of your form. So you can change it to if you have like a color scheme in your practice or on your website. For this one, we're going to choose pink. And you can see that the labels in the heading have changed to pink there. You can also change the font size and the font. And in header, you can upload a practice logo. You can also change the color there as well. And then if we scroll down, you can see just under details there, we can rename that form. So in there, you can put in there things like medical history form, dental records. You can even put your practice name. And then under add field, we're going to enter in one of the fields there. So we've got text/number. And under label, you can now enter in your question. So we're going to enter in a question. What is the color of your eyes? Not that you would ever ask that in a medical history form, but you can ask any question in there. So that just shows you that you can create any question. You can also use little arrows to move that up. So every time you enter in a field, it will always go down to the bottom of the form. So you can position it by dragging and dropping that field where you would like it or using the arrows. Okay, next we have D for W fields. So these are all the fields that sync to the patient's file in D for W. So we do recommend that you use a lot of these fields when creating your form. So it does pre-populate into the patient's file after they do submit the form. So here you can see occupation, and we will use the arrows to move it to the top of the form. We'll scroll up there. And you can now see the D for W field occupation sitting there. You can also come over to your form and edit any existing questions, for example. So here we have quite a long question. Is there anything new that you should tell us about? So if you click into that field, it will bring up that section of the form, and then you can rename that question there. So we'll enter in changes to medical conditions. And then we will move over to preview. So this will show you what the form looks like and what the patient can see also when they're completing their form. So we come down to the bottom. You've got the arrow on the right there that will take you all the way to the top. And then you can come in and click Save Changes. Okay, so that brings us to now customizing your own forms. So if you don't want to use the templates that we do provide for you, you can also come over and create your own form. So you can come up to the top here and click Create Form in the Form Manager. And again, it's the same sort of concept. So that little edit icon will change the name of the form. So we'll rename it Testing. And also you can see that it has created a new version there. And if we come over to Design Theme, you've got colors. You can choose your color for your labels and headings. Okay, and also add field. We will select heading, and we can put in there, for example, personal details. Okay, we can click Align, and then we can use some D for W fields. So, for example, surname. we don't want it named surname, we can rename it to last name. And if you come down to D for W field, you can see that surname, it's still going to sync with that section in D for W. Okay. Next, we have dynamic questions. So this is always an exciting one for everyone who uses these sorts of questions in the medical history forms. But before we continue, does anyone know what a dynamic question is? If you wanted to use the chat just to answer yes or no, that would be great. I'll give you some time there. So what is a dynamic question? No, okay.
Getting
All right.
those. Few no's there, Vicky.
Yep. That's all good. We're going to go through it now. So I'm going to explain it all to you. These are the sorts of questions you would ask. So for example, we've got that question there, are you a smoker? And we've got yes, no, and then another question has popped in, for example, how many a day? So they're the sorts of question that we name dynamic questions, okay? 2 seconds, my slide is not loading. Let's try that one again. No, okay. That one doesn't want to work for me. Not sure why. But basically, if you click on no for that question, no other question will pop. So you can...
Vicky,
Yep.
let's see if I can activate it. So just give me a moment.
Yeah. Okay, that's all good there.
Let's see if I can get it to go.
Sorry, guys, technical difficulties. There we go.
There
That's
we go.
working now. Okay. So we'll preview now. If we click yes as a patient, it will pop another box. But if you click no, nothing else will pop. So we'll show you how to create these. These are in manage groups, and then you can click create group. So in here, we will create a group name. So for example, we'll type in pregnancy. And then if you come over to the left, add fields, you've got a whole bunch of different fields in here that you can use to create your questions. So we'll select a radio button, and under label, we can type in, are you pregnant? Okay. And then under options, you can type in your answers. So we've got yes, we can put in no, and you can add in as many options as you like in this section. There's no limit to how many answers you want to provide in there. So depending on the question that you're asking, we're going to put in there maybe also. So we'll scroll down now, and in spread in columns, you can see that you can choose 1, 2, or 3 columns. Okay. And then we will, so we want the next question that pops. If they do select yes, we want to link that to the pregnancy group. So we tick show group, okay, and then we come over to add fields and choose our next question. So under label, we're going to put in due date for this section and come over to add group, and again, connect it to that pregnancy group. So these 2 questions are now linked to the pregnancy group. If we click preview, we can now see those questions. So if it's a yes, another box pops. If it's a no, the other box doesn't pop. And if it's a maybe, it won't pop. So these sorts of questions are good, specifically if they're not directed at all patients. It also saves space on the form also. Okay. So you can also change the order of your forms. And this is done in Form Manager also. So we will come over to eForms Manager. And this is a nice new feature that we have here. So this is good for practices that do have a lot of forms that, for example, use a lot of consent forms. You can see there's a long list of forms in here. So we want to rearrange them to how we would like them. And if you come over to the right, click on those 2 lines, you can then drag and drop your forms into the position you would like them listed in. So we will put that new patient form there. And you can also see that it has carried the version with it also. So that's great. And then we will come over to eForms. Okay, and you can see here, this is what the patient sees also. So you can see new patient form is sitting at number 2 now. Okay, so multi-location can share forms. Linda, I'm going to pass this one over to you now.
Fantastic. So with this one, multi-location and sharing the forms, this is if they share the same database. So if all your locations are working off the same database, you can share the one form in one easy go. So this is how we would do it. Okay, so first thing you want to do is you want to start within your Jennifer Windows settings. Now, we just need to set this up, and once it's set up, and you're fine. So you need to, in your Jennifer Windows setting, let the system know which location or which one has the what we call the master document of the form that you want to share. So how we do this, oh, hold on, I'm just, sorry, I just jumped the gun there. Hold on.
Is that working for you, Linda?
No, it's not working for me.
Let me see if I can do it my end.
Okay. Yeah, it's not letting me do that. There we go. Great. Fantastic. So with this one, you would need to go into your location setup under general settings. So what are you looking in your general settings here is you're looking at your e-services. So when you go do, you're going to go right down to the bottom because this is a new feature. So it's going to be right down the bottom here. It says location for sharing forms. So right down there. This is where you let it know which location you're going to share the form, which one's going to have that master document. To do that, you'll need to go to the settings, to SMS settings, and it's in here, the SMS surgery code of that location that has that master document. And we go across over here and we will copy that information there. So I'll just make a copy of it. Great, I'm going to copy it. Now we'll go back to our e-services. Here. And then we go straight down to the bottom, all the way down the bottom again. And we'll now put in that information there. So that now is telling the system that is where the main document's going, and that's the one it's going to now share all the way through. So now if we go to our next slide. Oh, sorry. And then when you go into your location manager, it says enabling sharing. You can disable that sharing if you don't want to. So process to share that form. Now in your e-services portal, you now pick the form that you want to share. So you have it online, so it's one that you've published. You will click on it and you'll open up in read only. So you open it up and we would obviously then we'll go up to our share form. But before I click that, you'll notice now we've got read only mode. This enables you at any point in time to come in and look at a form and just read it, just to see what you've got on the form without having to do copy a version or do a version of it. You can read only. So now we just say share form, which now will take you back to Form Manager, and the thing it shows you is sharing is in progress. Once it's completed sharing, that's what will then happen. So this will now tell the system that form is being completed. So all the locations that are under that same umbrella have all been sent that form that they can have. Now, it only shares the form. If you need to go and put the form on offline or delete it, you will need to go into every location to do that. But to share that initial form, that's the process that we need to do. Now, we're looking at multiple location share forms, but if you had different databases, so what you would tend to do here is go to the form manager and go and pick only form or form with a logo, and you will then open up the other location's e-services link. At that other location, you would select import, and then that download that you had will be here in your downloads. That's the form there. And then you will open, and it will now open the form that you've just shared to that location, and enables you now, if you wanted to make some adjustments, you could like put a logo, or if not, just leave it as is, and then you can just save that change. So then that form is at that other location. So that's if you've got different locations. Now, looking at the efficiency for patients. So we're going to look at complete forms at home and complete forms at the practice and boosting their experience. So I'm just going to see now if I can take over control again.
Okay,
Yeah.
before we go through that one, there is a poll. So Linda, I will give you that one if you wanted to bring that one up for me. Thank you. So do you think the adoption of digital forms can positively impact the overall patient experience at your practice? So I'll give you a few moments to enter in your answers. We've got yes, no, or maybe. Everyone would like to enter in their answers. Okay, that's good. Yes, so excellent. Majority have said yes. That's good to see that you do believe that it can positively impact the patient's experience at your practice. Okay, Linda, back over to you.
I'm doing really well on those polls today, Vicky. We've got a bright bunch of group with us today. Okay, so now we're going to look at completing the form. So this is now coming through and where we have the efficiency of having the ability of going outside the practice. So step one, if you're going to do it from home, is you want to generate a link for that form. So what you will tend to do is you'll go into your form manager and you'll have your form online, which will create a link, and that went just too fast for me. I'll just take that back if I can. Oh, this is technology at its best at the moment. Okay, Vicky, I'm going to have to get you to take over again. It doesn't like my having control. It's just going too fast for me.
Let's go
okay,
back.
So in this one here, we would generate the code. So when you go, well, don't worry about the video with this one there. So with this, basically, you would click on that link that we have just shown there. So the little link there, when you go online, it clicks a link, and that link is for that particular form. So when you click on it, it will pop up and say it's copied. So you know you've got that link copied. So if we go then to step 2, then that's the link you have. Now that link you can put into any correspondence. So you can put into any SMS or any email. And so when you send that to the patient, they just click on it and then they can open up to the form. Now, when they click on the link, they're not going to see the form straight away. This is how they're going to see. So they've got the ability to log in. Now, if you've already got, they've got e-appointments with you, they already would have a sign in set up if they've got an account. So they just enter in their mobile and password. But if they don't have it, obviously we want to make life easy for our patients so they can sign in with their Facebook or their Google account, or they can create an account. And it's a very easy process creating an account. But by having this account set up, it adds that limit of security, and it also, everything's encrypted. Which, having that level of security, that means there's no time limit we have for them to complete that form. So you might send them the link today and they could possibly not open it tomorrow. There wouldn't be a restriction because we've got that security in place. And we know that's all important now with all the data that we have. Okay. So now let's complete the form at the practice. So what are the options you have at the practice? So at the practice, if you're using an iPad or a tablet, this is an easy process. This is replacing the clipboard. So you tick the patient's arrived, and the next minute, right-click again, and you're going to go generate eForms code. So a 4-digit code appears. Excellent. Now, once you've got that code, you will then log into your iPad or your tablet. When you log in, you'll then select the eForms option. Then you'll verify the access code. So that code you generate in Dental Windows, you now put in here, hit verify access code. When you do that, then you've got the list of forms. Select the form you want your patient to complete. Give them the tablet or an iPad, and they can now complete the form. So it's just replacing that clipboard with a piece of paper now with an iPad, and they can easily then click it down. And obviously iPads are easy to disinfect as well. So a bit of infection control is there. The other one, this is a good tip here. If you do not have an iPad or a tablet in your practice, the other one you could do is create a QR code. So to create a QR code, first of all, you would generate the link for the form like we just did previously. You would Google QR code, and you can just pick anyone that will generate a code, and they usually do it for free. So, and all you have to do is enter your link in. So that enter the link, they'll create the code, and then you just download that QR code. Once you've got it downloaded, you can then create a sign for reception. Now you might think, what do I mean sign for reception? You might have got a link for your new patient form. So you might have created just on an A4 piece of paper, put new patient form, put the big QR code there, laminate it. So when the patient comes in and you've checked them in arrived and say, great, can we get you to fill in this form? Could you just click on the QR code? Fortunately enough, COVID has made us all very aware of what a QR code is. So a lot of our patients will be aware how to do it, and that will then access them to the form. The other beauty with the QR code is you can add it to correspondence, and more the correspondence of hard correspondence. So if you are sending out a letter, I know a lot of practices now are going to that way of sending out letters again because of the ability that a lot of people are not getting mail now. So you're more likely people might read your letter because they're excited. You can now put the QR code in to say that if it's a new member pack that you're sending out, you can put the QR code, they can click on it, and they can fill in the form from that way too. So you can still access regardless of what the form is. Now, send it from a link. So now this is a feature that we have within Dental Windows. So in the appointment book, or if you right-click on their appointment, you will find this Send eForms link there. When you click on that, this will appear. Now, this gives you the option to find out which form you want to click. So click which form you want to fill in. You hit Send. Then you have this option here. This will open. And then you have the choice of sending this message as an SMS, or you can drop down and send it as an email. Easy type. You don't have to do anything here. Sender, here, you just need to put the provider. We've put it was already linked there, but you might want to change who the provider is. And then this is the message. We do strongly recommend not changing that message purely because if you accidentally change that link or do something with that link, it'll actually break the link and it'll come up as an error. So yeah, try and just keep it within that. Now with this one, it's a 15-minute time limit because of the way the security one want to secure the data that we're sending out. So we've only got a 15-minute time limit. So where this will come in handy, if you could just go back one just for a moment, Vicky, thank you. Why the 15-minute time limit for the moment here will be that you can do this in the practice. So you're talking to the person. If you want to send it home, one a good example where you might use this because you think, oh, 15 minutes is not a long time, but where you send it home is that situation where the babysitter has brought the child in to have their dental treatment, but mum forgot to get them to sign the consent form. Mum's not with them. So you can now actually ring mum and say, look, I'm going to send you a link. Can you fill in the consent form so we could start the treatment? And you've got 15 minutes. So if you could do that, excellent, and come back. So basically we're increasing our efficiency here because rather than no consent form, okay, we're not going to start any treatment, so we might have a lost appointment. But with the beauty that we could send that link and get the consent form straight away means then that time could be reduced. Okay, so that's why the 15-minute time's there. Thanks. So now let's look at the patient's viewpoint when they get the link. So they will get the message. They will click on the link. When they click on the link, they'll ask to have to enter a code. They'll be sent a second message, which will have the code, and then they will enter the code in there. Once it opens, it has the form, and they then click on the form and then complete the form just like they would normally click the form. So nice, easy. So let's look how we're boosting the patient experience. So we're just going to quickly just run through how easy it is for them to fill in the form. So they can make changes to pre-filled information. So we can just change, modify. They can do it. It's all there, or they may not change anything because everything's exactly the same. So that makes it a little more efficient for the patient too. If they don't have to add or change any information, they can just see that information is still up to date there. So we'll just let you watch this little bit of video and have a break from our voices for a moment. And then easily submitted and completed for the practice then to look after.
Okay.
Hand it over to you, Vicky.
Thank you, Linda. All right, so you do also have the option to sign the treatment plans in the practice digitally on the practice tablet. So the way we do this is if you right-click on the patient's appointment, come over to treatment plan, make sure you've got the right treatment plan there, and then come over to generate access code. We will then get the access code there. So we've got 1712, and then we can come over to the portal. And here you would agree to the terms and conditions and enter in the code there. So if you click on verify my access code, it then brings up the treatment plan on the tablet. The patient will have a look at that, and if they're happy, they can then sign it. And then they will come over and click submit. So once that has been submitted, that is then automatically saved into the documents manager in the patient's file. Okay, so next we have efficiency managing the forms. So you do have the options to create notifications if you'd like to be notified by email if a new e-form has been received. And then we'll also go through and show you how to retrieve and process the forms. So notifications, you can create appointment statuses, and that is done in D4W. So set up status types, and then you can see here we've created the e-forms received status. So if we come over to also set up appointment status types, and then you can see down the bottom here, set e-forms appointment status. So this just needs to be linked with that new e-form received status that we've created. And then once that is done, you can see that this patient here, Jane Smith, has sent through an e-form, and we can see the practice will be able to see, okay, there's an e-status there on the appointment. We've received a new form. Let's go have a look and process that form. Okay, you can also be notified through your practice email if someone has submitted an e-form, and we can do this by coming over to locations management, notifications, notification options, and then in e-form submitted, we can activate that by ticking the box. And then you would enter in your practice email in there. Okay, so now we'll go through how to retrieve and process the forms. So if you come over to Go To menu, come down to View Completed Patient Forms, and then Get New e-forms. So you can see here that one new e-form has been retrieved. We will click OK. And then you can click on View Form. and this will now bring up the form. So once you're happy with the way the form has been submitted, you can then click Process, and we will click Go to Patient and come over to Documents Manager. You can now see a PDF copy saved of the medical history form in Documents Manager there. So it's as simple as that. Okay, poll time again. All right, so do you believe the use of digital forms improves data accuracy compared to traditional paper forms? We've got strongly disagree, agree, or strongly agree. I'll let everyone put their answers in there. Yeah, I'll just get a few more people. Awesome, guys. Thanks for entering all your answers. Yep, that's going up. Still going. Okay, excellent. So majority have said strongly agree. So yeah, it does improve your data accuracy compared to the traditional paper forms. And then that also brings us to the benefits of e-forms. So in summary, we've got streamlined processes. So this saves time and resources with electronic e-forms. We've got improved accuracy. So it eliminates manual data entry. Enhanced patient experience. So it allows patients to complete forms at their convenience. And then also accessibility. So access completed forms quickly and securely. All right, so another poll there. Let's go to that one. So to what extent do you believe that implementing digital forms can save time and reduce workflow bottlenecks in your practice? So we've got strongly agree, agree, or disagree again. And thanks for participating, guys, in these polls. It's good to see all the answers coming through. I'll give you a bit more time there to enter in your answers. Yep. Okay. All right, so yeah, again, we've got majority answers strongly agree, and we've also come in strong at agree. So great to hear, guys. And Linda, I will pass this one back over to you.
Okay, so obviously we've given you guys lots of information today, and you probably want to follow it up. So if you've already got eForms, this is where you want to do, or if you're looking at purchasing, you'll know where you've got some great resources. So you can go to eSupport, which you got the link up the top, and if you just click, and you can also automatically access it within your Dental for Windows. So if you go up to help in, say, in your appointment book, you can then click on this eSupport. Just click there, yeah, and that will then bring you through to here as well. Great, and so we'll just quickly show you how that works. Just go back one, Vicky, and just get that video to work.
That doesn't want to work for us today, Linda.
Okay, let's see if I have a go. It seems to be sentimental. We haven't
go for it.
Oh, yeah, look, it adds excitement to our webinar, doesn't it? So, okay. Okay, is it going to work for us? It's going to be naughty. Okay, that's live. No. That's part of going live.
Yeah.
But essentially what you can do is you scroll down the page, there is a section that says eForms that you guys can actually look at. And so you can scroll down and find it. If not, and you see what can we help you with, you can actually type it in there and you can search what you're looking for during that webinar there. No issues at all. Fantastic. So we just wanted to let you know where we go. So we now got another poll here, and I'll just bring that one up here. So this is more if you guys out there who are here with us today that don't have eForms and you're finding that you would like to have them to have this efficiency that we've shown you all throughout today's webinar and like to get on board. If you just like to just put your answer there if you need to, we will then get someone on our team to reach out to you and help you with anything to do with the e-forms that you would like to know. Okay, well, I'll keep that poll up and I'll just keep that one up, but we'll just go to the next slide, I think, Vicky. Great. And let's get to, so it's not, we're supposed to be moving, have some motion today. It's just not doing the right thing for us today. Okie dokie. So this is our question time. Now, we did see some questions coming through, so we'll see what we've got here, Vicky. So Carly said, is there a way that a part of the form prior to the patient filling it out online? I don't quite understand that one. Do you understand that one, Vicky, to answer that?
Sorry, I'm just trying to find that one.
On the question and answer poll there, it says, is there a way that part of the form prior to prior to the patient filling it
out online. Is there a way that a part of the form prior to the patient filling it out online? Do you mean if it's connected to e-appointments where they do book their appointment online and then are redirected to the form?
Oh, actually, she's just come back. Sorry, entered by accident. So no.
Oh, okay.
So
good.
that might be good. So, yeah, we just probably need to go. I'm just doing one question at a time, and she's just come up with it again. Okay, we've got another one here, Vicky. If we want a patient to sign a treatment plan and consent form for the treatment, would we need to generate 2 different access codes for them, one after the other, and wait for them to finish the first before generating the second? So this is where we have the treatment plan and then we could have a consent form.
Yeah, so you would need different, you'd need to generate the 2 different access codes. Each form requires a different access code to open up that form. So the next question, are there going to be any upcoming updates for the format and appearances of e-forms? Do you know about that one, Linda?
All updates of any new features that we all have is always going to be in your in eSupport. So it's got any time that any changes happen, it's already in eSupport. I think that's what you're asking there.
Okay. And then we've got, is everything mentioned today similar / the same for default web? Yeah, Linda, do you know if there's been any updates? From what I know, it's basically the same now. Default web has been updated.
That's exactly right. So usually everything that normally happens in default Windows happens up into web as well. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And can the e-forms be sent to new patients automatically? And does the system know when updates are needed and send those out automatically too? So it doesn't send out the forms automatically. You still need to go in there and see who does need an update. However, if you are syncing these to, say, e-appointments, you can enter in, say if you're updating them every 6 months, you'd enter in 180 days, or if you're updating every 12 months, you'd enter in 365 days, and it will pick up the patients that keep booking in through e-appointments. And even if they're new patients or existing patients, it will start picking up when they are due to update their medical history forms. So hopefully that answers your question there. And then we've got another one.
Yeah, we have 2 questions in the chat section as well. We have a question from Dinesh. Can we automate a report on how many forms received and how many forms were viewed?
There are some statistics that you can run in the e-services portal. Linda, do you know how we run these for the e-forms?
So in eForms into, we've got what we call an analytical dashboard on our e-services, and you go in there and you can do an eForms report. That eForms report will basically just let you know how many eForms have been submitted and brought through to you. You can also see what particular questions in the forms, just how many answers that they had. So if you are having a form and there's a particular question, you can actually see the results and see how many people filled that out and what was the response for those ones. So it's a very limited sort of eForms data, but that's one that you can certainly look at. Having to see whether they've viewed it, we can only really see if they've submitted it. We can't really indicate whether they've actually viewed it at the moment.
Okay. And we've got another one. Is there a way you can see on the eForms only one particular form? So new patient, med, or RCT consent, are they always connected to see all forms? So on the tablet, they will see all forms unless, for example, reception clicks in on the form and then hands the tablet over to the patient to complete. So you can do it that way. Otherwise, when you're sending the forms, say, to the patient's phone, you can choose the form you want to send. You would send that form. And then if you did want to send another form, you would need to, again, right-click on the patient, send eForms link to patient and send that form. So they will only be viewing that one form.
Yeah, we've got another question on the chat. Can the report be run in email daily? Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, you can do it daily, but you'll have to manually go in and do it. So there's no automation of sending that report to you at the moment.
Linda, we have a request from Srinivas in chat section. Can you please contact our surgery? We are very interested to get these features in our practice.
Yeah, we'll get some. We've had a few say, because something happened with the poll, our technology today. It's the beauty of going live. We've had a few people on the chat have said they're really interested in wanting to have eForms as a feature. So we've actually got your names. And so we'll get someone on our team to reach out to you and discuss how to get this up and going within your practice. Not a problem at all, guys. So we have got a notification of those and we will certainly follow up for you on that. No problems. Okay, doesn't look like we've got any more questions there. I think everyone, they were a great team today. They were very interactive with their questions and polls. It was a pleasure having everybody on board. So on that note, I better put my video on, my video camera on again. Let's see if the technology is going to work for me again. There we go. So we can kindly say thank you. If we can do the next slide, Vicky.
Sure.
So on that note, from myself, Vicky and Mona, I'm speaking on behalf of them, but I'm sure they'll say goodbye as well.
Yes,
I'd like to thank
you
you for taking the time out of the day and enjoy talking about the webinar. And I hope we've got you inspired to get there and want eForms at your practice, or probably start re-looking at your eForms and seeing how you can make them more efficient and user-friendly at your practice. So on that note, we'd like to say thank you and have a great day.
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.